I am Anansi, keeper of stories. Settle down while I stir the pot. Join me while I spin a tale.
Welcome to Anansi Storytime. I'm your host, Anya Connolly. Today we have a story about how the Spider God Anansi brought stories to humankind. Our story is called Anansi Gives the People Stories, collected by African Storybook Initiative and is rated G. Our players are Chris G., LJ Donnell, Morgan Hazelwood, and Scooter. Please enjoy.
Come, sit, listen. I once heard a story that started like this.
Long, long ago, the sky god Naomi kept all stories locked in a wooden box high in the sky. His son was the spider god, Kwaku Anansi. He had a wife, Iso, and a baby who would cry all night because Anansi had no stories to tell.
Clever Anansi. Our child cries and cries for want of a story. Surely there is a way for you to help?
I shall speak with my father.
Anansi spun long thread and climbed up his sticky thread all the way to heaven.
Father, can I have the stories, please?
Oh, those are very expensive stories. You wouldn't be able to pay for them, little spider.
How much do the stories cost?
You'll have to bring me 3 rare and fierce animals. The leopard, with sharp teeth like spears, the hornets that sting people, and the snake that swallows people whole.
Naomi thought his stories were quite safe, so Anansi climbed slowly down his sticky thread to the earth. He thought, and he came up with a plan. He dug a deep hole, covered it with branches and dirt so it was hidden, and he went home for supper. In the morning, sure enough, the leopard had fallen into his pit. He was furiously scratching at the side of the pit, but he couldn't get out.
Oh, let me help you, my dear friend. Just lie down on these sticks and I'll pull you out.
Anansi wound his sticky web round the leopard and the sticks and pulled him up to heaven to show the sky god.
Where are the other 2?
So Anansi went back down to earth to get the second creature. He thought, and he came up with a plan. He took a gourd full of water and went to the tree where the hornets lived. He poured out some of the water all over their nest, then he cut a leaf from a banana tree and held it over his head, and he poured the rest of the water all over himself.
Hey, hornets, come see. It's raining. Quick, get inside of my gourd, and it will keep all of you dry.
Hornets don't like to get wet, so they all flew into Anansi's gourd. Then Anansi quickly spun a web across the opening so the hornets couldn't get out, no matter how much they buzzed. He carried them up to heaven and showed them to the sky god. Naomi wasn't laughing so much anymore.
Where's the last one?
So Anansi went down to earth again. He thought, and he thought, but he couldn't come up with a plan.
I'm out of ideas, Iso. What wisdom do you have for me?
I have an idea. Follow my lead.
Together they found a good, long, thick branch and some strong vines. When they got near the stream where the snake lived, they began to argue.
The branch is longer.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
What are you arguing about?
I'm arguing with my wife. She says that the stick is longer than you are, but I don't agree.
Of course I'm longer than that stick. I'm very long. I'm a huge snake. Just put your stick next to me and measure.
So Anansi did that, and he tied the snake to the stick with his vine to keep him straight. When he was all tied up, he took the snake up to heaven. Naomi had to admit that Anansi had paid his price, so he went to his wooden box, opened the lid, and gave all the stories to him. Then Anansi carried the stories triumphantly down to earth. He shared them with his wife and child, and with all the other animals and people. For stories are for telling, not for keeping in wooden boxes.
I hope you enjoyed the tale. When you return, perhaps I will tell you another.
The tale of Anansi Gives the People Stories was reinterpreted by Scooter. For more information on Anansi Storytime, visit us at anansistorytime.com. Follow us on Twitter at Anansi Storytime, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Anansi Storytime. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.